All right, everybody, so today I'm going to show you how I made my Madhu top into a tiered dress, and I'm also going to show you how I added a ladder lace insertion detail to it, and I'm going to show you how to do that step by step. But before we get to that, if you're someone who's interested in making your own clothing with more intention and joy, you're definitely in the right place here at Seamwork. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can follow along with us and never miss one of our weekly videos. Okay, so this is my finished dress. This is what it looks like, and I just love how pretty and romantic it is. I want to show you first how the top looks before making it into a dress. So this is the Madhu top in its original form. So it's a really cute gathered top with elastic in the neckline, in the hem, and in the sleeves. So what I did is I lengthened it into a dress, and I did not shorten it at all. So I just left out the elastic in the bottom for this pattern, which gives it this kind of dropped waist. If you wanted a natural waist, you could do that as well. You could even leave the elastic in if you wanted, or you could shorten it. So you could cut off a few inches to get it the first tier more at your natural waist. It just depends on what look you want. So I left it with a drop waist, didn't adjust the pattern at all. After that, what I did is I added these tiers. And to add the tiers, the only thing you need to do is cut some rectangles. So I cut 3 rectangles here to get the full length that I wanted. You could also do a midi dress if you wanted. This one I decided to do a maxi. So get the length that you want, and then each tier is gathered. You'll see that it's gathered at the top. So each tier is 1.5 times the width of the one above it. So you just measure the hem of the original garment here, or the original pattern, and then multiply that by 1.5, and you'll get the length you need to cut of the rectangle for the next tier. And you just keep doing that until you get to the bottom. So that's how you lengthen it. And then I also added the lace insertion, which I'm going to show you how to do. So for that, what I did is I gathered the tier, I sewed it to the lace, and then I sewed the lace to the tier above. And I'm going to show you how to do this really cool ladder lace insertion and get a really clean finish on the inside when you do that. So we're going to be doing something called a rolled and whipped seam, and here's what you'll need to do this. So you will need your straight stitch or your all-purpose foot, just your regular standard foot that you're probably using most of the time. You'll need an edge stitch foot, like this one. It has the little plate, goes right up against your edge. You'll need your 2 pieces of fabric that you're going to sew the lace in between. So we're just going to use these small rectangles for this demonstration, but obviously if you're doing the tiers like I did for the Madhu dress, you'll have much, much bigger pieces. And then you'll need your actual lace. So this is a ladder lace, and again, we're just using a small piece. Okay, so to start, take your lace and your first piece of fabric, and you want to, with right sides together, put the lace on top, just like this, and pin it in place. And we're going to stitch right up against the edge of this embroidered lace. All right, so position your edge stitch foot so that the blade of the edge stitch foot is right up against that embroidered edge of the lace. So we're going to lower it and start stitching. All right, after you've stitched that first line of stitches, you want to trim your seam allowance to 1/4 inch. So this one is actually already about 1/4 inch, so I didn't need to trim it. But if your seam allowance is more than 1/4 inch, trim it down to 1/4 inch. All right, next step, remove your edge stitch foot and replace it with your straight stitch or all-purpose foot. Now you want to set your machine to a wide and short zigzag. So we'll change it to a zigzag foot, and we're going to set the length somewhere between 1/2 and 1, and we're going to set the width to 2.5. So the length we're going to set to between 1/2 and 1. So let's do a 1/2 here, and the width we're going to set to 2.5. Okay, so we're doing a zigzag, which means that there's going to be a left swing and a right swing on the stitch. So you want the left swing to end up right against that line of stitching that you did already. And the right swing is going to go off the edge, and that's going to enclose the seam and give you that whipped edge. So position your foot so that the left part of the stitch is right up against that stitching. You can see it's in place now, so we are just going to stitch. Sew a few stitches, and if you notice that your seam is not enclosed, this is a good time to just check and make sure, and if it's not, you can adjust the length or the width of your stitches. So you can make it a little bit wider if you're noticing that the seam is not enclosed. So now you have this really nice enclosed, very neat and tidy seam. And it does take a while to sew because you've got all these tiny little stitches and you're stitching back and forth. So just be patient. You can listen to a podcast, you can listen to Seamwork Radio, you could watch one of our YouTube videos while you do it. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna look so beautiful when you're done. And now you're gonna do the other side. So all you have to do is flip it out. So you have the right side of your lace again, and just flip it over, and you want to pin it to the right side of your other piece of fabric. And here's what it looks like after you've sewn the second seam. And finally, we're going to press the seam towards the fabric side. And here's the finished seam with your lace insertion. So if you're doing the tiered dress like I did for my Madhu, you can just gather your second side before you sew it to your lace. I love how romantic and flowy this dress is, and I feel like I can wear it in the summer with sandals and have it be really light and just really summery, or I can wear it in the fall with a blazer, with dark shoes, or with boots, and it works for fall too. And because the ladder lace is see-through, I like to wear either skin tone bike shorts underneath or a skin tone half slip, and you can't even tell. I feel like a Victorian ghost in this dress. That's it for us today. So if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to let us know by hitting the like button. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you get all our weekly videos. And if you'd like to make the Madhu dress, we have a step-by-step sew-along that's free for Seamwork members. So if you join Seamwork, you'll get access to hundreds of sewing patterns and dozens of sew-along classes. And YouTube subscribers get a 50% off lifetime discount when you join at seamwork.com/go/YouTube50. And I'll put a link to the Madhu pattern in the sew-along below. And wherever you choose to join us, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Remember to have fun and be yourself, because that's what sewing's all about.